Some people knock politely when they want to speak to a neighbor. Others bang on your door like they're conducting a SWAT raid at dawn. Unfortunately for us, our neighbor Karen falls squarely into the second category. What she didn't know when she launched her latest crusade: my wife isn't just any woman. She's the actual police chief. And what followed? Well, let's just say karma brought her paperwork, not cupcakes. Meet Karen, HOA's self-appointed queen of compliance. We live in a peaceful suburban neighborhood nestled behind manicured hedges, tidy sidewalks, and the ever-watchful eye of the Homeowners Association. On the surface, it looks like a postcard from Pleasantville. But behind every freshly trimmed lawn lurks someone convinced they run the block. That someone, in our case, is Karen. Karen's the type who files complaints about garbage bins being 4 inches out of alignment. She keeps a laminated HOA handbook in her fanny pack and treats its rules like sacred scripture. I'm convinced she sleeps in a bathrobe stitched with the words "Code Enforcement" on the back. To her, my wife and I are a threat, not because we throw wild parties or violate noise ordinances, but because we mind our own business. The knock heard round the cul-de-sac. It started on a quiet Thursday afternoon. My wife, Allison, had just returned home after a 12-hour shift. Being police chief isn't all car chases and action. It's mostly paperwork, difficult conversations, and diplomacy. She was catching up on well-earned rest when the doorbell rang. We ignored it. Then came a knock. The kind of knock that says, "Open up or I'll declare this house a federal crime scene." Still, we didn't answer. We were in our home. No crime in choosing not to play host. Moments later, I peeked out the window to see Karen pacing on our porch, arms flailing like she was narrating a silent film. Then came the moment that made my jaw drop. She pulled out her phone and called 911. Karen's 911 logic: I'm being ignored, so arrest them. According to the dispatch audio we later obtained, yes, we did request it. Karen claimed she was concerned because she was attempting a wellness check on her neighbors who may be harboring dangerous attitudes toward community engagement. Let me translate that. We didn't answer the door, so she weaponized emergency services to assert her dominance. Imagine her face when a patrol car pulled up and outstepped one of Allison's officers. The responding officer knew our address well. It's where his boss lives. He walked up calmly and knocked with actual courtesy. I answered, grinning, "Hey, good timing. I think someone needs your help," with a reality check. My wife stepped forward in uniform. Karen's jaw hit the driveway. "Allison," the officer asked, half laughing. Karen says she tried to do a welfare check and was ignored. Wants to press charges? Karen's eyes darted between Allison and the officer like she'd stumbled into a department-wide prank. My wife calmly said, "You called 911 because I didn't open my door?" Karen's voice trembled. I thought something was wrong. It's about safety. Community safety. You're part of this HOA, and it's your duty to engage. Allison, cooler than a glacier, replied, "Actually, I am part of the safety system, and you've just misused emergency services." Karen tried to sputter out something about concern and unresponsive behavior, but at that point, it was game over. She wasn't just embarrassed. She was practically melting into the pavement. The incident sparked a firestorm at the next HOA meeting. Word got out fast. Turns out, trying to bully your neighbors by calling the cops on the chief of police isn't a great look. Karen tried to justify it, saying she was acting out of love for the neighborhood. The board was having none of it. In fact, they politely requested that Karen not attempt any further wellness visits without HOA approval or, basic human decency. As for Allison, she didn't press charges, but she did log the incident formally. Let's just say Karen now lives in a state of constant unease. Knowing the woman she tried to correct carries more authority than her laminated HOA guidebook. Don't knock if you can't handle who answers. And never, ever underestimate the quiet neighbor with the badge, the backbone, and the paperwork to back it up. Now, whenever Karen sees us walking our dog, she crosses the street. I smile and wave. Allison tips her cap, and peace, at last, has returned to our porch.